Welcome back to another episode of Mindfull Moments. I am your host, Jada Lowe. If this is your first time listening, thank you for allowing me to grace your ears. If this is your first time watching, thank you for clicking over on the good old YouTube and clicking Mindfull Moments with Jada Lowe, episode 39 or 40. I lose count. But thank y'all for tuning in. If you're back, y'all know how we like to do. We like to get the ball rolling. But first, I got to check in with y'all. How are we feeling this week? How was this past week for y'all? Was it good? Was it chaotic? Was it slow pace? Was it what you expected? Was it not what you expected? How are we feeling? For me, I thought the week was gonna be pretty calm. I thought the week, granted, it was on a scale of 1, like 1 being the calmest and 10 being chaotic. I put it at a 6. Like, it wasn't crazy, but it wasn't calm because I had stuff to do. It was pretty copacetic, pretty easygoing. Got some stuff that I need to get done. But overall, it was pretty good. I really legitimately, truly, quite frankly, have no complaints. Just got some stuff to attend to. So what I wanted to talk to y'all about today. So disclaimer for the first time listeners. On this podcast here, it is my goal to spread the word of the good Lord, to encourage people, to inspire the people, and to motivate the people. One thing I'm not going to do in this podcast, I'm not going to tarry. Listen, my brain has 88 tabs open, and I know for me personally, like when I'm listening to story times on TikTok, I'm listening at a 2x speed. I'm 9 times out of 10 listening to or watching my YouTube videos at 1.5 to 2 because I'm like, I need you to get to the point. With the story time, get to the point. Give me the context I need, but I need to put it on 2 times because I need to get what I need, and then I need to go on to the next video. So for my audience, for my demographic in particular, I don't like to tarry too long. Unless I have a guest, I don't really like to tarry canary too long. So let's get into it. What I want us to talk about today is being good at your thing. So this episode title is Be Good at Your Thing. And I've been wanting to talk about that for a minute as I was just kind of thinking about episodes to kind of just talk about, to get back into the swing of things. One of those things was knowing what your thing is. And by thing, I mean like your talents, your gifts, all that good stuff. And knowing which one to tend to if you feel like you have more than one, and just figuring out what you want to do in whatever season of life you're in, and what you want to do like overarchingly. That's something that I feel like I struggled with for the longest. And I feel like I'm just now honestly, I would say a good grip on as far as like what my thing is. And yeah, I just hoping it can help somebody. So be good at your thing. What do I mean by your thing? I mean, I'll make it personal. So for me, I consider myself to be a woman of multiple talents and gifts, humbly speaking, truly. And while I do consider it to be a blessing, it's also very frustrating when you know that you're good at more than one thing, or you know that you can do multiple things at a good, decent, sometimes pretty good to pretty great level, right? But it's like, dang, which one do I focus on? Which one is here just to be here, and which one is a craft that I'm supposed to like genuinely be cultivating? And when you have a lot of talents and don't really know how to use them or when to use them, it can be frustrating to know which one supersedes them all. Like, which one will you always be using in some way, shape, or form, and which ones supplement that, and which ones are just meant to be hobbies. And so I feel like, especially for them 20s, like being in your 20s and just trying to figure out life, that's where I've felt the question of, okay, what is my thing? What am I supposed to be doing? Like, I know I'm here to do God's work. I know I'm here to spread God's word. I know I'm here to be a disciple. Like, I know that. Boom. Know that. Cool. But what gifts and talents have I been given that are meant to serve vocationally, like in my career, and to like serve other people? And so all that just gets like jumbled up into, what am I supposed to be doing? And it's a frustrating thing. It's been a frustrating thing. It's been a frustrating thing for me up until recently, within like the past couple of years. And I just hope it helps somebody, man. So first we have to start off with, honestly, what do you feel like you're good at? I feel like that's a good basis to start. If you feel like you're let's say you feel like you're a jack of all trades. Let's say you can do hair, you can do makeup, you can do public speaking well, and you like computers. Let's say for my fellas, let's say you can tint a good window. If somebody need their windows tinted, 10% or legal, maybe 5. You can tint a good window, you can mount a TV. But let's say you also are good at finances. Like numbers just come easily to you. All the economics and you're good at that. And let's say you play an instrument. It's like, okay, I have all of these things. First of all, which one is number one? Am I supposed to be doing any of these things? Like you really just feel like you're a jack of all trades. You feel like you can do pretty much anything, but it's frustrating really trying to pinpoint which one you want to do. And sometimes that it can be frustrating because you get to a point where you feel like your attention is really divided, especially if you enjoy each of the things that you're good at. Like for me, y'all know I know my overarching thing is creating. And over time, I had to realize, okay, I've always had a curiosity for how are things put together? How did they, for example, like I really love Marvel movies, and it's always fascinated me what the behind the scenes look like. And Avatar and all that, like I could watch a good BTS all day because I love seeing how things are put together from start to finish. And I love seeing how people can have something in their brain and get the final product. But I also enjoy doing that. And so learning that over time through trial and error, creating content and stuff, and just like production and stuff too. But even when I'm meant to do it in a different facet, I had to learn that my overarching thing was creating, like curating and creating. So by that, I mean having this overarching, I don't want to say topic, but general idea of what the action itself is. So like the action itself being creating, right? So I think you just have to just kind of sit down with yourself and ask yourself, okay, what are my gifts and my talents? If you know, I would first say identifying them, but if you don't know, experiment, ask people, based off what you know about me. Now, listen, now, don't go just asking anybody. Ask the people that know you. Don't go asking nobody who's an acquaintance. Who's an acquaintance, or ask the people in your trusted group, in your trusted circle, like, hey, like, what do you think I'm good at? What have you seen, like, just based off of what you know about me? What do you think my gifts and talents are? Because sometimes you may just be in a gray area where you just don't know. And sometimes you may have to be prayerful about it, and then honestly just kind of experiment with the stuff and ask yourself too, what is it that I enjoy doing? It's gotta be something that you enjoy doing, right? So ask yourself, what are the things that bring me joy? And then like really sit with it and be like, okay, these things that I enjoy, what is it that I enjoy about it? For example, let's say you one of them people that like bird watching. Why do you like, I don't know where that came from, but why do you like bird watching? You may find that you like to analyze things, or you're very observant. And so then if you see that, then try to find, okay, have I done this in other areas, whether it be in work, whether it be in my relationships, whether it be personal. And then like one thing that I really want you guys to know too, like coming out of this, is you don't necessarily have to pinpoint it by the end of this episode. You don't necessarily have to pinpoint it by today. My point is, in order to know what your thing is, in order to know what your gifts and talents are and what you're good at, you're going to have to sit with yourself to some degree. You're going to have to be willing to experiment. And a part of experimenting is going through trial and error and being okay with what you come to find out. Whether it doesn't work, go to the next thing. But when it comes to asking people, just kind of giving yourself, have an open mind is what I'm saying. Have an open mind when it comes to the figuring out of this process. And for my people who, let's say you have a understanding of it, but it's so many different things to where you can't pinpoint it. That's when I would say prayer honestly really, really comes to play. For me, I like pretty much, I can't say everything because that's crazy. The majority of the things that I enjoy, or the majority of the things that my gifts and talents are involved in, have to do in some type of creative aspect, whether it be creating content, whether it be production, whether it be music, whatever. But I had to say, okay, well, maybe it's not fully one area, but maybe it fully is this. So learning which one to cultivate, and being prayerful and asking God, like, okay, can you give me a little wisdom in which of these areas is meant to serve the people that you have for me to serve? That's what I'm getting at. So in the process of finding it is going to involve experimentation, prayer, and just asking wise. Well, you know what? I don't even. Yeah. Ask trusted people. Ask trusted people. You can know who to ask and who not to ask. But yeah, once you kind of find that, and give people the chance to kind of to speak into you too. Like, don't automatically, if they say, "Oh, you good at knitting," don't say, "Well, I'm good at it, but that don't mean I like it." Well, first of all, why are you knitting now? Second of all, give yourself the space to receive what people are saying, because that can show you where the connection is or the disconnect is, like as far as self-awareness is. So yeah, talk to reliable people, pray about it, experiment, be open to trial and error, and be patient. Be patient with yourself. So let's say, okay, boom, I found, I really enjoy, again, I can't speak on the other topics and vocations and talents and gifts, but I can speak to what Jada knows. So once, let's say, boom, you find it, cool. And let's say you know the different gifts and talents you have, but you know the overarching and how they supplement it. So next, I would say the biggest thing, which can be very, very hard given the society we live in, when you find what you're good at, or even when you find what you think you're good at and you want to get into cultivating it, make sure that you have a one-track mind when it comes to cultivating it and developing it. Being good at your thing requires you to have a one-track mind, because it can be so easy to get distracted by other people's good thing, to where you're so focused on what they're doing that a couple of things can happen. One of those things being you lose track of what you're supposed to be doing. You doubt what you're supposed to be doing because you see how well somebody else is doing it. Or, let's say they're doing something that you would like to be good at. So you try it, and that causes you to lose focus of what you were supposed to be doing in the first place. It's just the society we live in, with the internet, with social media. It can just be so easy. You can get so easily distracted. And so a part of cultivating what you're good at is also protecting yourself too, and knowing yourself to the point where it's like, I want to cultivate this, I want to perfect this, but I also have to make sure I don't get distracted. You can appreciate what other people are doing, but don't get distracted to the point where it causes you to lose sight of what you're supposed to be doing, or feel like you need to dim what you're doing because you're not doing it to the level somebody else is doing their good thing at. We all have our good thing, and we're all supposed to do our good thing to the degree at which we're supposed to do it. So don't go looking at what other people are doing. First of all, you don't know the behind the scenes of what that good thing requires. Worry about the behind the scenes of what your thing requires, what your gifts require, what your talents require to serve people, to love people, to live the life that you've been called to live, and everything else will take care of itself. That's the first part of cultivating and perfecting your craft. The other thing is just skill. Learn more about it. Research it. YouTube University it. Do all the things you can to really cap what you can learn in that season about your gifts and talents and what it is that you're good at. I really just want this to be a means of motivating you guys and encouraging you guys to not get discouraged, because especially if you're in your 20s, in the midst of, because some people are doing jobs they don't want to do, but because they have to, just in the sense of finances and of having stability But when it comes to what they really want to be doing or the things they feel like they've been called to do, it can cause a lot of tension and a lot of friction when on the vocational side, you're not doing what you feel like you've been called to do, but internally, there's something else, and it can cause a clash, but you have to learn how to be in pursuit of one thing while being diligent in the other. So that way either the two can come together, or if they're conflicting one another, or you're at a job that you don't like, but you feel like you've been called to do something else, that way when you find it, God can reward where you're going because you're diligent in one spot in the process of finding what your thing is. And you may be able to use your gifts and talents where you are in this current season. But don't get discouraged in this process, because it can be overwhelming, because and I know there are people who aren't in their 20s who listen, who may be younger or older, but especially in your 20s, because it's just a big gray area. When people say, your 20s is the time to experiment and to do all the things, it really is, because that is really where you find the most about yourself. That is where you find out the most about yourself. Found it. That's what I wanted to say. But yeah, don't get discouraged, because the process can be very overwhelming, whether you have one thing you're good at, two things you're good at, or multiple things that you're good at. Try to hone in and just pray for wisdom and a sense of direction. But yeah, it requires intentionality. That is one thing I will say. If you're struggling with just trying to figure out what it is you're good at, and I know I'm saying it to a lesser degree by saying what you're good at, air quotes, but what I mean is finding what satisfies your heart, and to a deeper sense, finding what satisfies your soul. There are those things that that are gifts that are in you, that when you do them, you just feel like it's some things that you do, man, and you do it, and it's like a sigh of relief. Like, man, like, wow, that's what that feels like. That's what it feels like to use that gift. That's what it feels like to use that talent. It's just like a big sigh of relief is let off. And I hope and pray that everybody listening can truly find that. I feel like I'm in a place where I found that, and I'm blessed to be in a place where my career is in alignment with that, and it being ironic that the two coincide. But I also know that that's not everybody's case. So I wanted to address it to help people get to that point where you feel satisfied in your soul with what you're doing, or if you feel like you're just in a place of, because the 20s, I want to have an episode about the 20s. I know I ain't fully out of it yet, and I'm in no rush to fully be out of it, but the 20s is full of tension. It's full of so much tension, and we don't talk about that enough. We don't talk about the tension of paying bills. We don't talk about the tension of having to feed yourself every day. When I moved out of my mom, I'm getting off track, but when I moved out of my mom and daddy's house, I said, I got to feed myself every single night. That means I have to think about what I'm going to eat when I get off work, and I have to cook it. I can cook, which I'm fine with, but it's just like the mental capacity. I done went to Timbuktu and back at work, and now you mean to tell me I got to come home and then I got to do it all over again. Then I do it so many times, boom, here come rent. And it's just like so much tension. It's so much tension. But one of the tensions of the 20s is just simply just finding yourself. And finding yourself is one thing. Settling in yourself is another. And those are two completely different things. And part of finding, like, being good at your thing requires you to find yourself, if you haven't already, and to settle in yourself. Because once you find your thing, the part of cultivating it and perfecting it is that settling piece. So when distractions, if you see somebody else running their race, running their marathon, their journey, all the things, you have to be settled in yourself to where you know, okay, they're doing great. I also want to do great. We have to learn how to use other people's success as motivation and not a distraction, not jealousy, not as a means of discrediting who we are. Other people doing good at other people using their gifts and being good at what they do doesn't discredit your gift. It doesn't discredit what you're good at. Let that be motivation of like, okay, if they can do what they're good at, I can do what I'm good at. Don't make it a big deal. Don't see it as, oh, well, I guess I just can't do good like they are. They're supposed to do what they're supposed to be doing, and you're supposed to do what you're supposed to be doing. I feel like I'm talking in some kind of code, but like I'm being so, like it's just that simple. And be patient with yourself and give yourself grace. I know I'm gonna probably say grace in every episode, but be patient with yourself, give yourself grace, and just trust and know that you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. It took me years, and it was right in front of me. It took me forever to figure out. Not like I had a sense of what I was good at, but there was a time where I felt like it was this big feat to where I was like, it's got to be something else I'm good at. And if you're in that place too, you'll get to a point too where you just won't feel a sense of ease. You won't feel a sense of peace until you figure out what it is you're good at. So if you think you're good at something, or if you think you found the gifts and talents that you're meant to use to serve, but you always feel like there's like a tension or conflict, then that may be God unctioning your heart of like, this really isn't let's pivot a little bit. So if you're feeling some of that again, the tension, then use that it's about taking inventory and using that inventory to make space. See what I did there? Okay, that's enough. But yes, when it comes to being good at your thing, by that I mean being good at your gifts, being good at your talents, the things that you feel like give fulfillment to your soul. It is going to, and if you're on a journey of figuring that out, if you've already figured it out, either way, it's going to require you to be intentional. It's going to require attention as well, giving it attention and cultivating it and perfecting it, whatever it is. And it's going to require you to just be focused. It's going to require you to be focused. And so I just want to encourage you guys to not get discouraged if you're in a place where you just simply don't know. If you do know, I encourage you to lock in, dial in. How the kids say, get on your Zoom. I think I haven't become an auntie yet. Dial in, lock in, get on your Zoom, and cultivate it and take care of it and steward it well. By steward it, I mean take care of it well, do right by it. Don't just treat it like it's something else. And if there are other things that you feel like, you like, but it's not really that deep, it may just be meant to be something that you're good at, but you'll feel the tug on your heart. And if you don't, be prayerful about it and pray for wisdom that it'll be revealed with time for my people who are believers of Christ. So yeah, I encourage y'all, no matter what stage you're in, whether it be finding what you're good at, whether it be you 100% know, if you're trying to find it, be intentional, experiment, pray, ask your trusted people. If you do know, continue to cultivate it and use it well. And if you're just in a place where you just down and out, I'll be praying for you for sure. And I genuinely mean that. But yeah, I hope that helped, y'all. That's been a topic that I haven't been able to talk about for a long time, honestly, because I was still in it, trying to figure out what it was that my gifts and talents were and how I've been meant to use them for the time that I have here on this beautiful earth. But yeah, I really hope that helps somebody. And let me know what else y'all want to hear, what other topics y'all want me to talk about. I'll probably be talking about the 20 sometime soon, but that's going to take a minute. That's going to take a minute. But yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I hope you find your good thing. I hope you find the gifts that God's placed in your heart, the talents that he's placed in your heart. And I hope that you use them well. To what? Be mindful of today for a better tomorrow. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Thank y'all for giving it a listen. Be sure to share it for me. And I will catch you guys in the next episode.